Well, no injuries. That's a good thing. I mean, we got one more to go, and I'm pretty confident we're going to win the spring game. So I'm feeling pretty good right now. Um, Look, I mean, I think everybody goes into it with a sense of let's look where our strengths are and really build on them, and really we need to find out where our weaknesses are so we can begin to address them and get ready for them as we go into camp.
Coach, I know for the next 2 weeks leading up to the NFL draft, you'll be talking about Jayden Daniels, but I want to talk about what's after him. I think most of us have a pretty good idea, but take us through what you've seen this camp, especially at the quarterback position.
Well, Garrett has earned, obviously, Garrett Nussmeier has earned the right to be our starter. I think we saw that in the Wisconsin game, the way he really emerged late in the third, fourth quarter, led us on a late game drive, a 92-yard drive. The glimpse of him, I think, in that game, all of us felt very confident that we could turn this over to him and really continue to have a great offense. Look, we're losing, the Heisman Trophy winner and two number one draft picks at wide receiver. So you're losing a lot of production. But we have some really good players coming back. And I think he's going to be surrounded with one of the best offensive lines in the country. And he's got tight ends and he's got depth at the wide receiver position. So he doesn't have to do it himself. So feel really good about the surrounding cast and his ability to go in and impact games.
Coach Kelly, a lot of changes in the program on your coaching staff, especially a defensive coordinator. So let's talk about what was an issue last year. You talked about it too often. What did it look like, and how does it project as we get ready for the season?
Well, obviously, Blake Baker now is in charge of the defense, and we know the kind of success he had at Missouri. I just, I was looking clearly for somebody that could, begin to elevate the play here at LSU. And it's been a few years now that LSU has not played up to the kind of defense necessary to compete for a national championship. It was quite disappointing to have a prolific offense and not be able to meet it, with any kind of, defensive play. So Blake has great experience, and the work that he did at Missouri, he's familiar with LSU, and we surrounded him, I think, with an outstanding staff. Bo Davis, Kevin Peoples on the defensive line. Corey Raymond returns, and he's had great success here. Jake Owen is an up and comer in the business that worked with Blake at Missouri. We just feel really good about our defensive staff.
Coach, it's almost cliche to ask you about the opener. You've had Florida State the last couple of years, and you're not really catching much of a break getting Southern Cal in Vegas. But it is something for everyone to point toward, especially fans. Not that that is your main concern, but how does it affect the team when you have such a big game in the very first slot?
Well, it's important for us. We have not gotten off to a good start the last couple of years, and it's obviously affected our ability to, be in postseason play. And so the focus, the conversation, the narratives are all true. Is that it's an important game for LSU. Certainly, everything is still alive in the SEC, but that really doesn't matter when you don't get off to the kind of start that you need to really get the momentum and energy going. It's an outstanding football team. I think they've done a similar job on defense and bringing in some really good defensive coaches. So Lincoln, was in a similar situation where they needed to retool on defense. They're gonna be like us. They're gonna be great on offense again. So you've got two teams that have really similar, looks in terms of really good offense, and looking to improve on defense.
Coach, no, nobody knows exactly what the magic number is going to be this year with the new playoff. It will be talked about ad nauseum as you start making the rounds, and we'll see you in spring at spring meetings and ultimately at the media days. But how does this, if assuming it does, change anything about getting ready for the college football season?
I don't think it changes, Paul, in terms of your preparation. I really think that, when you're talking about the SEC and you're talking about the Big Ten, and in particular, I think we all now know that with the new format, it's not just about winning the conference championship in terms of getting in. I think that's a foregone conclusion that there's more than just the winner of the conference. Remember, it was set up for conference champions to get into the playoffs. I think the expansion now really lends itself to the next best team, and maybe even three teams from a conference. So I don't think it changes your preparation, but I think it changes your mindset a little bit as you go through the season, that you're going to get that bounce at midseason that, hey, we are still in a really good position to be in postseason play.
Coach, finally, there was once a time, like a lot of things in college football, where after spring practice you took a break and maybe enjoyed some things. Of course, the portal window opens, and there are so many other aspects of it. Take us through how different things are and what head coaches and coaching staffs have to do now that you get through with your game.
Well, first and foremost, it's evaluating your players, and having frank conversations with them, because that portal opens up, in a week here, and so you need to know, what your roster is going to look like, and that requires immediate conversations with all of your players, and that's first and foremost. Then you're going to go on the road for the next 30 days. So your staff is out on the road recruiting while this portal window is open. So I think you got to get your house in order relative to what your roster looks like, as well as, recruit the 25-26 class. Then June hits, and June is crazy because each weekend now is filled with official visits. So it is a busy, if you want, the next 60 days, maybe 80 days are as busy as any time that college coaches would have. And that had never been the case. So I think that's, Paul, really where the big difference is, and where you have to use July to reset and recharge the battery, or, you're going to be leaking oil during the season because your guys are going to be exhausted.
Coach, always a pleasure. The best Saturday and for the next however long before you are able to catch your breath. It's always great to see you.
Thanks, Paul. Thanks for having me on.